I wish I knew earlier how much time shapes everything. When we are young, we believe life will slow down one day, that we will finally have time to do what truly matters. But time does not wait. It moves quietly, steadily, and before we realize it, years have passed. What matters is not how busy we are, but how present we choose to be. The moments we live fully become our real wealth, not the days we rush through without noticing. I wish I knew earlier that chasing approval is exhausting and unnecessary. So much energy is spent trying to meet expectations that were never ours. To begin with, the truth is, not everyone will understand you, and not everyone needs to. What matters is living in a way that feels honest to your values. Even if it disappoints a few people along the way. Peace comes when you stop explaining your life to those who are committed to misunderstanding it. I wish I knew earlier that relationships are more important than achievements. Success feels empty when there is no one to share it with, and failures feel heavier when faced alone. What matters is showing up for people, listening without distraction, and expressing love before it becomes regret. Pride, silence, and "I'll do it later" have broken more connections than anger ever could. I wish I knew earlier that taking care of yourself is not selfish, rest is not laziness, and saying no is not weakness. What matters is protecting your physical health, your mental peace, and your emotional boundaries. You cannot pour into others from an empty place, and burning yourself out for the sake of proving worth only leads to exhaustion, not fulfillment. I wish I knew earlier that fear shrinks when faced, but grows when avoided. Many regrets are not about failure, but about never trying. What matters is courage in small steps, choosing growth even when confidence is shaky. Life rewards movement, not perfection. Most of all, I wish I knew earlier that happiness is simpler than we make it. It lives in gratitude, in ordinary days, in quiet moments that feel warm and real. What matters is not having everything, but appreciating what you already have while you still have it. If there is one lesson worth remembering, it is this: live now, love openly, and choose what truly matters before it becomes a lesson learned too late. Time is more precious than we realize because it is the one thing we can never earn back. Money can be replaced, mistakes can be corrected, and opportunities often return in new forms, but time only moves in one direction. When we are younger, we live as if time is endless. We postpone dreams, delay conversations, and assume there will always be another chance tomorrow, but life does not slow down to wait for our readiness. Days quietly turn into years, and one day we look back wondering how so much passed so quickly. What makes time truly valuable is not its length, but how we use it. Being busy is not the same as living meaningfully. Many people fill their days with tasks, obligations, and distractions, yet feel empty because their time is not aligned with what matters most to them. Time spent worrying about the past or fearing the future slips through our fingers without adding anything to our lives. The moments that stay with us are the ones where we are fully present, laughing with loved ones, creating something meaningful, or simply enjoying peace without rushing. Time also teaches us the importance of priorities. We often give our best hours to stress, work pressure, or people who drain us, while giving leftover moments to our health, family, and passions. Over time, this imbalance shows its cost. Regret usually comes not from what we did, but from what we kept postponing. Honest conversations, self-care, learning, rest, and love all require time, and when we don't intentionally make space for them, they fade away. Understanding the value of time changes how we live. We become more selective about where our energy goes and more gentle with ourselves about what truly deserves attention. We stop waiting for the perfect moment and start using the moment we have. Even small choices like listening fully, resting without guilt, or saying yes to what excites us add up to a life that feels full rather than rushed. In the end, time reminds us to live awake. Not on autopilot, every day is quietly asking us what we want to do with it. When we learn to respect time, we begin to respect our own lives, choosing presence over pressure and meaning over motion. Living for approval slowly steals inner peace because it places your sense of worth in the hands of others. From a young age, many of us are taught to seek validation, good grades, praise, acceptance, applause. Over time, this habit becomes a way of life. We begin measuring our choices by how they will be received rather than how they truly feel to us. Without realizing it, we start editing ourselves, shrinking our opinions, and hiding parts of who we are just to fit expectations. The problem with living for approval is that it has no finish line. No matter how much you please people, there will always be someone who is disappointed, critical, or unimpressed. Chasing validation becomes exhausting because the rules keep changing. What one person praises, another questions. What brings approval today may bring judgment tomorrow. When your peace depends on external reactions, it becomes fragile and unstable. Living this way also creates fear of being misunderstood, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of choosing a path that looks different from what others expect. This fear can keep you stuck in relationships, careers, and situations that no longer serve you. You may appear successful on the outside while feeling restless and disconnected on the inside. The quiet frustration comes from knowing you are not fully living your own life. True peace begins when you accept that not everyone needs to understand you. People see the world through their own experiences, wounds, and limitations. Their opinions often reflect their perspective, not your truth. When you stop trying to convince everyone, explain everything, or prove your worth, something powerful happens. You feel lighter. You gain the freedom to make choices based on values instead of validation. Letting go of approval does not mean becoming careless or unkind. It means being honest, respectful, and aligned with who you are, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means trusting yourself enough to stand by your decisions without constant reassurance. This shift allows confidence to grow naturally because it is rooted in self-respect rather than applause. Inner peace comes from self-acceptance when you approve of yourself. External opinions lose their control. You may still listen, learn, and grow, but you no longer live in fear of judgment. In choosing authenticity over approval, you choose a life that feels calm, grounded, and genuinely your own. Relationships matter more than achievements because, in the end, success means very little if it is not shared or supported by genuine human connection. Achievements can bring pride, comfort, and recognition, but they cannot replace the warmth of being understood, loved, and accepted. Many people spend years chasing goals, promotions, and status, believing happiness will arrive once they make it. Yet when the noise fades, it is people, not trophies, that give life its deepest meaning. Relationships are what carry us through both joy and hardship. During moments of success, it is the people who celebrate with us who make the victory feel real. During moments of failure or loss, it is relationships that hold us together. When confidence disappears, achievements may impress others, but relationships sustain us. A strong connection can soften the hardest days, while even the greatest success can feel empty when faced alone. Often, relationships suffer because we assume there will always be time later. We delay phone calls, postpone visits, and choose work over presence, believing we are doing it for them. Over time, distance grows, misunderstandings deepen, and moments that could have been shared are lost forever. Regret rarely comes from not working more, but from missed conversations, unspoken love, and time not given to those who mattered most. Relationships also teach us lessons that achievements never can. They teach patience, forgiveness, empathy, and humility. Through relationships, we learn how to listen, how to grow, and how to love beyond our own needs. These lessons shape character, not resumes. A successful life is not defined by how much we accomplish alone, but by how we treat people along the way. Prioritizing relationships does not mean abandoning ambition. It means understanding balance. It means knowing when to pause, when to show up, and when to choose people over productivity. A career can change, money can come and go, and titles can fade, but the impact we leave on others lasts far longer than any achievement. In the end. When life slows down, it is not awards or accomplishments that bring comfort. It is memories of shared laughter, honest conversations, forgiveness given, and love expressed. Relationships are the true measure of a life well lived, when we learn to value them above all else. We discover that success feels richer, lighter, and far more meaningful. Self-care is a necessity, not a luxury, because without it, everything else in life slowly begins to suffer. Many people grow up believing that rest must be earned and that caring for oneself is a reward, not a requirement. This mindset leads to constant overgiving, overworking, and ignoring personal needs until the body and mind can no longer keep up. When self-care is delayed, burnout quietly takes its place. Ignoring your own well-being often starts with good intentions. You want to be reliable, supportive, and strong for others. You say yes when you are already tired and push forward, even when you need a break. Over time, this pattern drains energy, dulls joy, and creates frustration. The truth is, you cannot give your best to others when you are running on empty. Self-care is not about selfishness. It is about sustainability. Caring for yourself means listening to what your body and mind are asking for. Sometimes it is rest, sometimes it is movement, and sometimes it is simply silence. It means eating with awareness, sleeping without guilt, and allowing yourself to pause without feeling lazy. Emotional self-care is just as important. Setting boundaries, expressing feelings honestly, and walking away from what harms your peace are acts of strength, not weakness. When self-care is neglected, stress builds quietly. It shows up as irritability, exhaustion, loss of motivation, and even physical illness. Many people only begin caring for themselves once they are forced to buy pain or break down. Choosing self-care earlier prevents this cycle. It helps you stay balanced, focused, and emotionally present in your daily life. Making self-care a priority does not require grand gestures or expensive routines. Small, consistent actions matter most. A few minutes of deep breathing, a walk in fresh air, time away from screens, or a moment of gratitude can reset the nervous system. These simple habits, practiced regularly, build resilience over time. When you treat self-care as essential, life begins to feel lighter. You respond instead of react, you give without resentment, and you show up as a healthier version of yourself. Taking care of yourself is not something you do after life is handled. It is how you handle life. Courage and gratitude create a meaningful life because they change how we face both challenges and blessings. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward even when fear is present. Many people wait to feel ready before taking action. But readiness often comes only after the first brave step. Without courage, dreams remain thoughts, and potential stays locked inside hesitation. Courage shows up in everyday moments more than in dramatic ones. It appears when you speak honestly instead of staying silent, when you try again after failing, and when you choose growth over comfort. Life naturally pushes us toward what feels safe and familiar, but staying there too long leads to regret. The things that matter most, love, purpose, change, usually require risk. Courage allows us to accept uncertainty and still move ahead. Trusting ourselves enough to handle whatever comes, gratitude, on the other hand, grounds us in the present. While courage pushes us forward, gratitude helps us appreciate where we already are. Without gratitude, even a life full of achievements can feel empty. There is always something more to want, something better to chase. Gratitude interrupts this endless craving by reminding us of what is already good, already meaningful, already enough. Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to notice the good alongside the difficult. It is the quiet recognition of small blessings, a kind word, a safe place, a moment of peace that often go unnoticed over time. Gratitude shifts perspective. What once felt ordinary becomes valuable, and what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. When courage and gratitude work together, life becomes balanced. Courage helps you change what no longer serves you, while gratitude helps you appreciate what you would otherwise overlook. One without the other creates imbalance. Courage without gratitude can feel restless and never satisfied. Gratitude without courage can become passive and limiting. Together, they create forward movement with contentment. This combination also builds resilience. Gratitude strengthens emotional stability, while courage builds confidence. When challenges arise, gratitude reminds you of past strengths and support. And courage reminds you that you can face what comes next. Instead of feeling powerless, you feel capable and grounded. A meaningful life is not free from fear or struggle. It is one where you keep showing up with bravery and appreciation. When you choose courage, you honor your potential. When you choose gratitude, you honor your journey. Together, they shape a life that feels purposeful, present, and deeply fulfilling.